I am going 6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori. Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We crossing topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Little Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Cause you listen to the Man Hour.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasher here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the new merchandise page, as we do got new merch dropping each and every month here from here till the first of the year. So, also, guys, we have reamped the website. The website is looking fresh. It's looking really, really nice right now. So be sure to head over there. And we got a new part of the website. It is a part of the forums. So if you like to talk trash, talk with other people, become a part of the forums there. It is free, no charge to anybody whatsoever. Jump in there. It is great, great time. So it's so much fun, guys. So that just started this afternoon. I believe I'm the only one in there right now. So if you guys are listening to us here at youtube.com/Man Hour, head over to manhourradio.com, click on the forums tab, and just sign up for it, guys. It is free, it's simple, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You get to hang out with the community. We get to build a relationship with each other and everything. So, guys, we do have an action-packed show for you guys lined up today. We got Mr. Wayne G himself on from Infinity Sports here on his weekly Thursday segment. He'll be on here in about a half hour, 8:30 East Coast time. Every Wednesday is when Wayne G follows. He is from Infinity Sports. Be sure to follow him on Twitter at SportsInfinity5 on the old Twitter machine. Also, guys, be sure to follow myself at manhour_Buck. Follow Combs at manhour_Combs. Follow Tori at manhour_Tori as well. We do got a poll happening for you guys tonight, and there are 4 games here that I want you guys to vote on. Which game would you, if you only had the opportunity to watch one game this weekend, which one of the 4 games would you prefer to watch? Pittsburgh versus Cleveland, Tennessee versus the Indy, New England versus the LA Chargers, or Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. So the poll is going to be live here shortly, guys. I just opened it up. What's up, Drew, my man? So you guys, Drew is a member here on the Man Hour Nation, and you guys see that little symbol right by his name. It says Drew, last name. I'm not going to butcher it because people butcher my last name all the time, Drew. He has a little Man Hour symbol there. That's because he is a part of Man Hour Nation. How did he become a part of Man Hour Nation, you might ask? He simply hit the join button here at youtube.com/Man Hour. And for 99 cents a month, he got behind the scenes access footage. He gets merchandise discounts. He gets after hours footage. He gets free access to what we access, before everybody else. So he actually got free access to the website before you all did, because he's a part of the member. There's a 99-cent crew, and then there's a $2.99 group where you get more perks, you get more discounts, but $5.99, guys, that's where all the magic happens. He gets a free t-shirt after 6 months of being a member, which, Drew, your shirt will be in the mail here momentarily. I believe it's next week is when you become a 6-month annual subscriber here. And then for $99, guys, a month, you get a hoodie every year you are part of Man Hour Nation. So let me punker down here as I tried it out, the whole new standing up like Pat McAfee does, and that's not quite me. So we do see Alpha Rob in the chat as well. What's up, Alpha Rob? What's up, Drew? What's up, Trent? And what's up, Trace, guys? All you guys, thank you for joining us over here. So it is time. Yeah, Drew, 6 months already. Yeah, I mean, time has flown by here. So, guys, if you guys don't know, Combs and myself started Man Hour the way you guys see it right now. Man Hour, our birth date was Christmas Day. So Christmas Day, we're like, hey, let's do this, Combs. Let's jump on board. Let's do you and me and Christmas Day. Man Hour, as you guys see it right now, was born. And so we are what? We're almost 11 months old. So, I mean, we are coming up on the year anniversary very, very quick here. We are almost 250 episodes in as well. So, guys, things are cooking over here at Man Hour, and thank you guys are part of being Man Hour Nation. So, where did my notes go? There they are. My notes were trying to hide from me, guys. So, wow. This show's already starting off on the great foot. Ginger Brain here. So like I said, we got Wayne G joining up here in about 20 minutes now. So if you guys don't know Wayne G is he is the host of Affinity Sports, and he brings a segment called That's Debatable. So he brings up topics that, that could be debatable for most of the viewership. Like he says that Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT of basketball, not LeBron James. Absolutely wrong, but that is a very debatable topic. But what is not debatable is whether if Dak, actually it is very debatable, I should say, is should Dak Prescott play Sunday versus the Minnesota Vikings? So as you guys know, the Dallas Cowboys were on a bye week last week, which is week 7, but week 6, he suffered a calf strain the very last week, the very last play of the game once they beat the Patriots in that overtime win. And Dak has kind of obviously Dak has had quite a few injuries here the last year, the broken ankle or the dislocated ankle with the broken leg, and then the shoulder issue, and now the strained calf here. So the question that has been proposed to me here on Twitter and on our forums is, should Dak Prescott play this week versus the Minnesota Vikings? The Dallas Cowboys guys are 5-1 on the season, and the Minnesota Vikings are not. They are 3-3 on the season. They're also coming off a bye week, if I'm not mistaken, as well. But this Dallas Cowboys team is a Super Bowl caliber team. And how do you get to the Super Bowl? A lot easier. You get that number 1 seed and you get the first round bye. So every game counts. Also, with that being said, you are not going to make the Super Bowl without Dak Prescott either, because we've seen it last year that the Dallas Cowboys are not a very good team without Dak Prescott in the lineup. So with that being said, should Dak Prescott play this week? If he's not 100%, minus 10. If Dak Prescott is not at least 90%, Dak Prescott should not play this week. Let him heal and let him get ready for the Denver Broncos or the Falcons or the Chiefs. Let's just be honest. The Dallas Cowboys schedule moving forward is easy. The Vikings aren't very good. They're 3-3. They probably match their ceiling wins all season. They might get 5, but it's the 3 to 5 range there. The Denver Broncos are a dumpster fire after the 3-0 start. What they're now 3-4, I think. The Falcons are just the Falcons since they've shit the bed during the Super Bowl, and then they play a struggling Chiefs team. So there are 3 more weeks where Dak Prescott can just kind of sit back and relax. If he's not healthy, just calm down, relax, and let him heal. I think with the Dallas Cowboys backup quarterback and the rest of the offense that they have constructed, they will be perfectly fine versus the Minnesota Vikings. And that backup quarterback is Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush has been in the Dallas Cowboys organization for quite a long time. I believe it was last year. He did go to the Giants with Jason Garrett. Obviously, he was released and then come back to the Cowboys. And then the third string is Will Grier. If you guys don't remember Will Grier, I believe he was a West Virginia quarterback just a couple years ago. It was West Virginia like 2-3 years ago, I think it was. I believe he was drafted in 2018, 2019 from way there. So Cooper Rush with Amari Cooper, with CeeDee Lamb, with Zeke and Pollard doing what they're doing, with Mike McCarthy calling great plays, they'll be perfectly fine without Dak Prescott in the lineup this week. However, moving forward, past the Atlanta Falcons game, when they play the Kansas City Chiefs, Dak Prescott needs to be back on the field 100%. They need to make a strong push to the number 1 seed and they do have a Super Bowl caliber team. So let me jump into the comments here. Where we at? Notes. Drew says, when did you learn how to read? I learned to read 3 weeks ago. When I started doing solo shows and like have to like think about a process. I learned how to read. Hooked on Phonics did work for me a little bit, so I was hooked on it, but I jumped off and I turned myself around, and then I did the hokey. But I am good now here. And then Drew says, no, he should not play this Sunday. I agree with that, Drew. If he's under 90%, if Dak Prescott is not 90% or higher, he should not play. Alpha Rob says, who is Dallas Cowboys backup? It is Cooper Rush, and then Will Greer is the third string quarterback. And then Rob, my blood pressure. What? I'm confused by that, Drew. Do you have high blood pressure, Drew? Do you need some pills, man? Do you need to calm down a little bit? I know Combs hasn't been on the show for a few days, but man, I don't need to be calling 911 for like you as well. And then, are you a Cowboys fan, Drew? Hell no, he says. If you are, but no, hell no, no offense. And then Drew says, I like the Bills. Not my favorite, depending on who they play. So Alpha Rob and other people in the chat. Drew has like 8 teams that he roots for. The Buffalo Bills, the Colts, the Lions, the Chiefs, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Bears. No, I'm totally kidding. But Drew does have like 3 or 4 teams that he roots for. And, I'm the same way, but the Chiefs always will be my favorite. So going back to the Dak Prescott, issue that has arisen here. I mean, obviously, guys, he does have that calf injury, and Mike McCarty and the Dallas Cowboys are really playing this injury close to his vest. Many people that have seen them at practice, I do follow a Cowboys guy that is strictly Cowboys. He goes to all the practices and the press conferences, etc. I believe it's his name's Cowboy Rob or something to that effect. I will link his Facebook in the description just to give him some credit. But he says Dak Prescott does not look injured at all. However, Dak Prescott was very limited in practice. What he did was he did take a few snaps with the first team, threw the ball down the field about 10 yards, 5 or 6 plays, and then he was out for the remainder of the practice. So when Cowboy Rob says he was looking like Dak Prescott and you had no idea that the injury was there, I kind of had to believe what Cowboy Rob says, because he does see Dak Prescott every day. He sees him in practice. He sees him at the games, post interview or post game interviews and like all that stuff. So with that being said, of course, hindsight's 20/20 in the end. But if Cowboy Rob says Dak Prescott looks like Dak Prescott, I have to say that Dak Prescott is at least 90%, and he will. Yes, he will play this Sunday because the Cowboys do need this win. And if he's not healthy, why not play your best guy on the field one bit? So like we said, like how the Cowboys are playing the cards close to this vest, with the whole calf injury thing. Let's flash back to training camp when the whole shoulder injury was happening. The Cowboys said, "Oh, he was perfectly fine. We're just taking it day to day. He's perfectly fine, yada, yada, yada." But then, like, after they said that, like, they contacted the Texas Rangers medical staff about throwing shoulders, right? So they were like, hey, what's wrong with Dak? So then all these red flags were starting to like raise. So are they doing that now? Are they making those red flags raise? Absolutely not. I mean, a calf injury is a calf injury. It's either it's hurt or it's not. When you hurt your calf, it is a endurance muscle. It is not a pull or, if you can obviously pull it, but usually it is a strain because it's tired, right? So hopefully this week and a half off really helped, the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. So moving forward here, the game that is happening tonight obviously is the Cardinals versus the Packers. But one of the biggest storylines to come from this game is not the COVID. It is J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt is likely going to have, or he's having shoulder surgery, but it is likely to end his season. He did hurt his shoulder in the second quarter of last week's game versus the Houston Texans. However, this is big news, because what is the biggest weakness for the Arizona Cardinals, guys? Let me know in the chat. I'll give you a second. That's right. It is the rush defense. The rush defense is by far the Achilles heel of this Arizona Cardinals defense. And yes, they were getting better week to week to week, but now you lose a big increment part of that. Also, Chandler Jones is back, but he was off obviously on the COVID list, so you don't know quite where he is going to be at. So this Thursday night game, I said it last night and I said it 2 nights ago, and I'm going to reiterate again tonight. This is a huge test for the Arizona Cardinals, because the Green Bay Packers are out 2 receivers, possibly 3, depending on if they activate Marquez Scantling off of the IR or not. But I feel deep in my gut that the Green Bay Packers are going to run the ball a lot, and this will either expose the Arizona Cardinals defense, or it will make us look and be like, hey, you know what? Maybe they aren't as bad as we thought they were. But however, right now, guys, JJ Watt he will miss tonight's game. He's having surgery on that shoulder and will probably end his season. So I want to propose a question to people in the chat here. Drew, you are a Cardinals fan. Alpha Rob, you are a Cardinals hater. So like, we have people going head to head here like a little bit. So many people are JJ Watt's fan. Like, you almost cannot hate the guy at all. But does this recent injury to his shoulder, does that end JJ Watt's career? Let me know in the comments, guys. Give me a hashtag yes or a hashtag no, and we'll see what the people think here. So on Twitter, we already have some hashtag yeses coming in. So big shout out to you guys for quickly giving me that hashtag. But I think this does not end JJ Watt's career. The only thing this will do is probably prolong his career a little bit, because I think deep down he wants to go play with his baby brother in Pittsburgh. Maybe not Pittsburgh, but he wants to play with his baby brother somewhere. Although his baby brother TJ did just sign that big mega deal, like 5 years, $100 million deal, right? So if JJ wants to play with TJ in the end, he's probably going to have to go to Pittsburgh and make that happen. So with that being said, I do not think it ends his career. I actually think it prolongs it, because, 10 weeks off to heal, not take those hits, that adds a little bit of mustard into your step here a little bit. Is that even a thing? A mustard into your step? How about a pep into your step? How about that? So I do think it will prolong his career a little bit. Also, the next guy up here on the injury list is as if this has been a very injury prone first part of the show here before we get Wayne G on from Infinity Sports at Sports Infinity 5. If you guys are on Twitter, be sure to give him a follow. Baker Mayfield. So guys, Baker Mayfield obviously has that torn labrum and then a broken bone in his shoulder. During his press conference today, he said he felt stronger and he felt like he could play this week. So the Cleveland Browns obviously play a very pivotal game this week. They play a division foe in the Pittsburgh Steelers. The loser of this game will be in last place in the AFC North, and then more than likely probably out of the playoff picture moving forward. Yes, I know it's very, very early, but let's just be honest. The AFC is loaded, and you cannot be last in your division and expect to have a chance at the playoffs. So if Baker Mayfield is not 100%, let's say Baker Mayfield is 80% going into this game, do you play Baker Mayfield or do you play Case Keenum? The answer to that question is Case Keenum. There is no question in my mind that a 100% healthy Case Keenum is better than Baker Mayfield. The reason why I say that, because the Cleveland Browns have almost built a team to plug and play any quarterback. So you can almost pick any legitimately good quarterback in the league, Jameis, Andy Dalton, etc., right? you can probably put them on the Cleveland Browns roster, and they'll be just as effective as Baker Mayfield is. And I think the reason why Baker Mayfield said that he is playing on Sunday no matter what is because he knows this. He knows that, this is his time to sign his mega deal, because I believe his contract is up at the end of the season. And when you are expendable, that's the word I'm looking for. If you're expendable, a backup quarterback can come in and do just as good as you are. Why are the Cleveland Browns going to give you $80-90 million to do a role that any quarterback can do? So Baker Mayfield almost feels, I think he has to play this week because of that. So with all that being said, Baker Mayfield is going to lie his way onto the field. There is no way that a torn labrum with a broken bone has healed in 10 days. So the last time we saw Baker Mayfield play was like 10 days ago, which was the week before the Denver Broncos game. I forget who they played. They played the Cardinals, right? And there is no way a broken shoulder bone has healed in 10 to 14 days. Absolutely no way. Obviously, the labrum will not heal without operation on it, which he said he will be having that in the off season. But Baker Mayfield sees the writing on the wall, and he feels he has to play to have a job for the Cleveland Browns next season. That is why he will play this week. With that being said, guys, that takes us up to our first break of the night. And on the other side of the break, we do have the one and only Wayne G from Infinity's Force with That's Debatable. So basically, Wayne brings us some topics that he likes to debate about, or thinks topics are going to be debatable, and we discuss it and if it is debatable or not. We do have a poll going over here, guys, at youtube.com/manhour. If you had to pick from the 4 games are listed, which one will you choose? We have Pittsburgh versus Cleveland, Titans versus Colts, Pats versus Chargers, and Bucks versus Saints. Game 1, 2, 3, or 4, guys. Let us know which one you vote for. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Oxygen. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckcasher here tonight. You can follow me on Twitter at manhour_buck. And also, guys, head over to manhourradio.com, as we did give the website a little bit of makeover, and we added forms on there. So there has only been one post made. So, guys, be sure to head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the form page, as each week or each show moving forward, we'll pull out like the best debate topics or the best discussions, and we'll talk about it here during the Shop Talk section of the show. But it is Thursday, the final show of the week, 8:30 East Coast time, so that only means one thing. We welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Wayne G from Infinity Sports. Wayne, what's going on tonight, bud?
What's going on? Excited to be on. I missed last week.
I started the show early because I was doing a solo show, and we're painting the house, and it's just like I wanted to give people what they want, but at the same time, I needed to make the wife happy too. So it's kind of like shit in one hand or wishing the other. I don't know. It was just it was a lose-lose situation. So that's 100% my fault, Wayne. But you're here tonight, and tell the people what your show is all about and where they can find it.
Absolutely. Infinity Sports. We are at Sports Infinity 5 on Twitter. That's the best way to get a hold of us. And basically, we talk all things sports. It's been a little bit of a hiatus. I don't think we've done a show now in a few weeks, trying to kind of figure some things out and get things back up and running so people like it. So definitely, this is the best time to hit me up at Sports Infinity 5. Let me know, what did you like about the show? What do you want to see going forward? I can basically custom tailor make a show for the fans. So definitely let me know what you like about the show. We'll get it up and running.
There you go, guys. So follow him on Twitter at SportsInfinity5. It is in the link in the description, not on this page because I did not open that. That's Combs' Twitter. My bad, Wayne. But SportsInfinity5 on the old Twitter machine. So let's get started, Wayne. What's the first topic of the night?
So first topic of the night, this is something that I have been advocating for half a decade, maybe even a decade. I've gone toe-to-toe with Brandon about this because he's a baseball purist, but baseball needs an automated strike zone for the computer to call balls and strikes, not umpires. And this goes back to last week. You had Laz Diaz from the home plate umpire, Game 4 of the ALCS. He missed Nathan Eovaldi's strike 3, and then they went on a run, 7 runs or something like that. But he missed 23 calls that game. Now, in all 30 stadiums, they have triangulated pitching cameras that record the pitch 50 times per second as it comes out of the pitcher's hand. They can figure out within an inch of where it crossed the strike zone. So why isn't the computer calling these? Now, they did a study from 2008 to 2018. Umpires made 12% of their calls were incorrect. In 2018 alone, umpires got 34,000 calls wrong, and 107 games ended on a bad call. Get rid of the home plate umpire, or have them just call safe or whatever when people are sliding in, but let the computers call balls and strikes.
Yeah, so when Combs and Soup Boss actually did their live reaction show of the World Series Game 1, they actually went on like a half-hour rant about this, and Combs has been a big advocate about it. Like, he's like, hey, bring in the automated strike zone. I'm tired of this of this crap call. And I was on the exact opposite. What makes baseball such a great sport is the human error element, is the, hey, this is a judgment call. Hey, and then Combs wanted to come back at me like, hey, why don't you just challenge this, and this, and this? I'm like, well, in the NFL, you don't challenge judgment calls. You don't challenge holding. You don't challenge pass interference. So why would you be able to challenge balls and strikes? That makes absolutely zero sense to me. So automated strike zone, I am absolutely 100% against it. I like the home plate umpire. I love the human element of it. And if you think about this, it makes the game a lot more of a chess match. You have to find out, is this umpire going to call this a strike or he's not, right? And yes, I get it. It changes inning to inning, batter to batter. I get it. But it's the human element that makes it such a great game. So much fun to watch. It makes us talk about it. Otherwise, would we be talking about that pitch in the third inning that I don't even know who let Max Fried pitch because it was 2 inches low and it changed the whole at bat? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't have a lot to talk about baseball at this point.
I think you're completely wrong because there'd be plenty to talk about. You could talk about home runs, stolen bases, great catches out in the outfield. You could talk about a lot of things. Listen, how many times on the show have you guys actually sat around and talked balls and strikes when it wasn't a bad call? Like never.
Exactly.
Right? It's only when there's a bad call. So I'm just saying, baseball purists, which Brandon is, but he's coming around a little bit on the progressive side. But baseball purists say the same thing. They say human element should be part of the game. It's always been part of the game. You know what else used to be part of America? Slavery. And we got rid of it. So sometimes we recognize that things aren't working. And so we fix it, right? And so in this case, baseball is not supposed to have error. When the game was invented, it wasn't like, hey, you know, how can we add some mistakes to this game to make it a little more interesting and spicy? They're like, hey, let's get it right every time. But they didn't know how because they had humans, right? At first, the players called the balls and strikes. Well, that wasn't working. Why didn't they keep it? I mean, you're a purist. Let's just do what we've always done. No, we brought in umpires to make it impartial. Well, now we have computers that are more accurate than umpires. The goal of the game is to make it fair for both sides, and it's not when humans are calling balls and strikes. This makes it fair. It levels the playing field. It eliminates error, and there should not be error in any form of officiating in any sport.
So if you do that, let's take it to the next level here. Let's say you have automated referees in NFL. There would literally be a flag on every single play. Talk about a long game. I mean, the World Series on game one was like 5 hours long. The NFL average game would probably be 6 hours long, like at that point. The one thing that, Wayne, like, I know that you are a guy that likes to even, think of new ways to make the game great. Baseball is great the way it is. If you make a automated strike zone, think about how big of scores you will have. You will have softball, slow pitch softball style scores. 25 to 22 is the final. And those games, that are 3 or 4 hours long now, 7-hour games, easily.
Well, what you're doing is you're advocating for pass interference to be called when the team's losing, but not being called when they're winning, because we want to keep the games close and keep people interested. No, we want to get it right, and that's just the way it is. Now, I understand what you're saying. In football, they don't have the technology to do what you're saying, like to really see every single hand and every single position. Someday they might, and when they do, guess what we're going to do? We're going to have technology call the plays, and that's okay. It's okay because guess what? You shouldn't be like, hey, it's okay to hold. No, as a football coach, you should be teaching your players not to hold. And if they do hold, they should get flagged for a penalty. So what this is doing is it's making them improve their technique. And if you can't block a defender without holding him, you probably shouldn't be playing at the highest level.
Oh, I see that to an extent, but I don't want to change this to a NFL game or to a NFL topic by any means, but if you take holding out of the game, there would be a sack on every play. The defensive line is just too damn good to not get to the quarterback every play. Same thing with a hitter. If the strike zone is a 2x2 box, every game every at-bat, 162 games a year, they have a minimum of 3 at-bats in a game. Quick math off the top of my head, what's that, 500 at-bats minimum of the year? How are you not going to be batting over 400 every game, 500 every game? I mean, it just it almost makes it easier.
Does it though? Or are you also making it easier for the pitchers? Because getting it wrong doesn't mean calling balls strikes. It means also calling strikes balls. So it's a give and take, right? If you make it fair across the board, then the home runs go up and the strikeouts go up, right? And the people who were hitting home runs on those balls they shouldn't have, now they're not. And the ones who should have been hitting home runs, now they are. So like I said, it's a scale. We're just getting it right on the balls and strikes.
I mean, obviously, I feel like we could go round and round on this, and Combs would be an excellent person to go round and round with it because he is a pure baseball fan. But just like you said, Combs is starting to be a little bit weird on the whole progressive thing. He likes the guy on second base. He likes this. He also likes the 7-inning games. So, I mean.
He's coming around. Yeah, he's coming around. And
maybe he's just getting old. He's just getting old and doesn't want to fight the system anymore. Fight the man.
Well, as we get older, we get smarter. So
allegedly, not me, but whatever. Topic number 2, Wayne.
Topic number 2. This is my domain here. This is the basketball domain. Anybody who watched either last night, night before, whatever it was, Oklahoma City playing the Los Angeles Lakers, close game right down to the wire, right? It's a 5-point game, 4 seconds to go, and the Lakers inbound the ball. The Thunder steal it and go in for a dunk at the buzzer, basically, and they could have just kind of dribbled out the clock. And Russell Westbrook lost his mind. He went after the guy who dunked it. He got thrown out of the game. And this kind of goes to all sports. So you can bring up football if you want, baseball, whatever, but all sports, we kind of talk about sportsmanship versus the game itself. And there are people who say, listen, it's the game. You're supposed to stop the guy. Just stop the guy. And if you can't, and I kind of, only a little bit, understand that, but I also believe we're human beings and we should say, hey, listen, how can we be the best possible human beings we can? Is the best possible human being somebody who rubs it in when they win? Or somebody who says, hey, listen, man, I'm going to take a knee. Victory formation.
Yeah, so I actually watched that game, and I think the frustration from Russ himself was giving up with a 28-point lead and then losing to his old team. And I think the dunk kind of just frustrated, kind of boiled over a little bit more. But to add to your point there, when you are up by 3 points with 3 seconds left and you steal the ball, I mean, this is definitely was a jab at Russ himself, just because he has been in Oklahoma City for like 8 or 9 years or whatever it was, and then he goes and joins this quote super team. So yes, you want to kind of rub your old superstar, like your old teammate's face in it, like hey, we just came back from 28 points down and we beat you in Oklahoma City. Welcome back home. You are not welcome here anymore. So to that fact, I do agree with what they did, just because, like you said, you get paid to stop me. If you can't, sorry about your luck. But on the, it is kind of a double-edged sword, just because, the next time that the Lakers and Oklahoma City plays, let's say the Lakers are up by 30-plus points and they have a chance to pull their starters. Are they going to? Probably not. They're going to run up to 50, 60 points, right? So it is kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. I am okay like how it played out, because of Russ was playing his old team and he was probably John like all night. You can just not take like that one spot of the game and say this is why they should have done this, and this. Like you have to see the whole game in that aspect.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because, again, I'm a very big believer that human beings are the worst species that exists on the planet. And that's because we can think about what we do and we still do the wrong thing on purpose, not by accident.
Yep.
And the thing is, we can be decent. And that's where it comes to, I mean, let's say Russ was just running his mouth the whole game at Oklahoma City, right? And he was like, you guys stink, you guys suck, whatever, right? Someone might say, well, then he's totally justified in rubbing it in his face with that dunk. Is he? I mean, is that what good human beings do? Or do they take the high road and say, hey, listen, I know you've been jawing at me all game, but I'm not going to do – 2 wrongs don't make a right, right? We tell kids that, but somehow when we become adults, I don't know what age, but we just forget that. We think, 2 wrongs do make a right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Wayne, you are a basketball guy. You shoot the outside shot, right? And I don't know, like, are you a jar or do you just let your game talk?
I just let the game talk. I say maybe 2 words per season to the opposing team or to the referees. I do cheer on my teammates. I'll say, hey, good pass, good shot.
Right.
That's the only time I'm vocal, though. I just score. And I mean, I've had games where I went out, I dropped 40, and I didn't say a word. And it's just because I'm just playing. And I've also played against guys who talk the entire game. And I would, in my heart, I'm like, you know what? I would love to just rub this guy's face in it,
Yeah.
But then I also have my mind. And my mind is what does my action procedures or whatever. And so I just want to say, listen, I would love to do that. But when the clock's running out, I'm just going to hold the ball at half court. I could jack up a 3. But I'm just going to hold the ball at half court.
So you are a very rare human being, just because when most people have that person that are jawing at them all game long, and then you kind of have a chance to stick it to them just because you don't talk, you kind of stick it to them by finishing finishing at the other end, like with a big dunk or a big 3. That's just I feel like that is my competitive nature in me, just because, you know, I'm a person that talks all day long, and I don't care if we're up by 50 or down by 50. I'm still going to jaw, and how people got back to me was beat me by 50 plus points, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So,
well, and I look at it this way: is so not to go too far down the rabbit hole, and definitely not to bring the show into like a religious nature, right? But I do believe that there are great teachers in the world, Socrates and Aristotle and Plato and whatnot, and one of them is potentially Jesus, right? And in the Sermon on the Mount, if we all remember, if we don't, I'm gonna try to give a little quiz. Did he say, if somebody slaps you on the cheek, stab him in the sack? Or did he say, if somebody slaps you, turn the other cheek? You know, he's basically saying don't retaliate when somebody does something to you.
Yep.
And so I live by that principle. I really do. I don't get even with people because I also believe in karma. And so karma's going to take care of it for me. And I will laugh when it happens to them. but I'm not going to be the one that doles out the justice.
So on the flip side of that coin, you were brought up in a time when Jesus and God was allowed in school, right? Many of these kids nowadays, you don't have Jesus and God in schools, and it shows, right? So
I don't know. I didn't have it in school. It hasn't been allowed in school since like the 50s, and I did not go to school in the 50s.
well,
But
I actually prayed every day in school. Like we did the pledge of allegiance, and then we did the prayer that everybody knows, right? I don't even know.
private school?
No, it was a community. It was just a regular school. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, we were up in Maine. Maybe it's just different. I don't know, but we didn't. We did the pledge because we had to do that every day.
Right.
Which, by the way, and again, not to get too, I don't care whether they do it or not, but I did it. And again, I just don't want to even make it about, because I'm an atheist. Not to get too far. I don't believe in any of it, but like I still believe in the teaching, so to say, right? Like, you know, do unto others, right?
Right.
Like treat people how you want to be treated. And I think that's a great model for life, no matter what you believe in terms of the afterlife. Even if, like I said, you're like me, you don't believe in anything, right? Do unto others. It's the golden rule.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of confused by the whole situation because, like, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I am forced to believe something that I don't believe. I mean, like, I believe, but I don't know. It's a weird subject. What's the next topic, Wayne?
Okay, all right, so we'll get into this one here. This one we kind of touched on a little bit in the break. People didn't hear it necessarily, but one of my thoughts was this. Russell Wilson is going to be traded in the offseason, period. He's not going to be on Seattle next year. And I said one of the teams that he may go to is the Green Bay Packers to replace Aaron Rodgers. I think that we could see Russell Wilson in Green Bay next year. And I don't know where that leaves Aaron Rodgers. I said possibly the Saints would be a team that would be interested in Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You brought up potentially the Steelers.
Yeah, so Russell Wilson, I believe they played Sunday Night Football, and I believe it was Chris Collinsworth. I could be totally off here, but Chris Collinsworth, like, is it crazy that we are seeing Russell next team play each other right now? So he was referring that Russell was going to go to the New Orleans Saints. So I don't think that Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers are going to have a divorce in the offseason like everybody thinks they will. I think, you know, winning cures all, and this year they are at least destined to make it to the Super Bowl. They're finally ready to get over that NFC Championship losing hump. With that being said, Russell Wilson as well, I think, is out of Seattle, just as long as with Pete Carroll is as well. Where he ends up, yet to be determined, but I think it is going to be a team that is kind of a dark horse, a team that we kind of maybe talked about earlier in the show here, and that is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns has a plethora of wide receivers, a great running game, a great defense, and I think they are a great quarterback away from being that next Super Bowl championship 2-3 wins. And I think Russell to the Cleveland Browns makes the most sense.
I guess depending on where Cleveland drafts, because this is going to be a really good quarterback class, just like this last one was as well. This is going to be a good quarterback class. And if Cleveland somehow ends up with a top 10 pick, then I think that's an easy swap. You swap that pick, maybe like a 4th or a 5th or something like that for Russell Wilson, and then you let Baker Mayfield go be a backup somewhere. And I don't mind that at all. And then Seattle drafts their quarterback of the future.
So I don't think Baker Mayfield will be a backup anywhere. I think he will find a starting job somewhere. There will be several teams out there probably looking for starting jobs. You have Houston that's probably looking for a starting quarterback. Depending on where Deshaun Watson ends up, you could have Miami, you could have Washington, you could possibly have the Giants. So there are 4 or 5 teams out there that probably going to need starting quarterbacks next year. And I think Baker Mayfield probably fits great on all those teams.
I guess as a stopgap, because there's probably 6 good quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds of this upcoming draft. So wherever he goes, if he goes to Houston, then he's going to be ahead of Malik Willis for 10 games, and then he won't ever start again. Or if he goes to Washington, maybe they have Keaton Slovis. So again, 10 games, and then you're never going to start again. So wherever he goes, it's going to be a stopgap for whoever gets drafted there.
So people here in the chat are saying Denver. So are you guys saying that Baker Mayfield should go to Denver or Russell Wilson should go to Denver? Who do you think the Denver Broncos should get, Wayne? Russell or Baker?
Between the two of them, it's Russell. I mean, you're saying Russell Westbrook or Baker Mayfield to any team. I don't care what the name of your team is. Russell Wilson is a much, much, much better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. So he is a legit superstar. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league. Even if you want to drop him down into like the 8-9 range, that's fine. It's still pretty good. Baker Mayfield, I don't know if he beats out Teddy Bridgewater.
I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is on the Denver Broncos next year.
Oh, we could see. I don't know. Maybe not. But you're not really upgrading. If you go with Baker Mayfield over Teddy Bridgewater, it's not a huge upgrade. And you're probably paying more for it.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question then, Wayne. Let's go totally off script here. Is Baker Mayfield a starter on any other NFL team right now besides the Cleveland Browns?
Yes. Like I said, as a stopgap type quarterback, he could go to Houston and start. I mean, are you really going to take who do they have? Tyrod Taylor is there?
Yeah, right now Davis Mills is starting because Tyrod Taylor's on IR too as well.
Yeah,
I think. Yep.
I think Baker Mayfield's better than Davis Mills, so I think that he could go there and start right away. I don't know about Washington. I really like Heineke.
Yeah.
I do think he could compete for the starting job there. So there's a couple teams he could probably go to now and start, but I think that after this draft, like I said, a lot of teams are going to be getting their quarterback of the future. And then Baker, I don't think he ever, unless he takes a huge step forward, this next year will be the last year he ever starts a game.
So you are not a hot take type of guy, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Did Baker not signing an extension in the offseason, is it going to come back and bite him in the butt this offseason?
Oh, 100%. I mean, here's the thing. If they offered him an extension and he turned it down because he was trying to get a bigger extension, he is one of the biggest fools in the history of the NFL. I didn't think Cleveland offered him an extension, which I wouldn't have if I was. Yeah. So, I mean, that's not really his fault. I mean, it is because of the way he played, but it's not really, he didn't turn anything down. If I'm Cleveland, I wouldn't have offered him an extension either. I wouldn't have given Josh Allen an extension, to be honest with you. We know how I feel about him.
Right. Yeah. So, you guys heard it here first. I don't think Baker Mayfield is on the Cleveland Browns next year if he doesn't play this week. So, you heard it here. So, do you have any more topics for us tonight, Wayne?
Got one more. It's a pop culture, because I like to mix in one pop culture hot take or debatable topic. And I've brought this up on other podcasts. I think I may have even brought it up on this show at some point, but I'm going to say it again. And anybody who disagrees with me, go ahead and at me, at SportsInfinity5. And that is Quentin Tarantino doesn't make good movies, period. I don't know if he's made one yet.
Quentin Tarantino. First of all, I'm not a person very good with names. So name me some movies that he has been in.
So one of the ones that people think is good but isn't, Pulp Fiction. Another one might be Inglourious Bastards. Another one might be Django Unchained, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, Inglourious Bastards I liked if I didn't have to read the whole, I don't know, it's probably like 80% of it, right? That was absolutely ridiculous. Pulp Fiction, I've never seen it, and the Django Unchained, I never even heard of that one. So I'm going to say no, he has not made a good movie. I kind of agree with you, Wayne.
You'll catch some flack from the artsy fartsy movie crowd, the ones that wear berets and turtlenecks and go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
But the The reality is he just doesn't make good movies. Pulp Fiction is overrated. It's not a great movie. Django is okay outside of Leonardo DiCaprio's performance, which if it didn't have that, it would be crap. And then even Inglourious Basterds, which was okay, but really, again, if you take out that scene with Michael Fassbender in the bar, the rest of that movie is just like, meh.
Yeah, so Rock over here in the chat, he has become a part of Man Hour Nation. He's like, he says, "Wow, blasphemy." I think we got a Stephen A. Smith liker over here. So I think he disagree with you, Wayne. So Rock, name me a movie that was good that like he was in, because Pulp Fiction.
He's a director, so he wasn't in it. He's a director.
He was the director of Pulp Fiction.
Yep. Kill Bill, volumes 1 and 2. Jackie Brown.
Reading through the chat here. Yeah, on Twitter you have a lot of hate going on, Wayne. They said Pulp Fiction is a top 10 movie of all time.
See, people think that because they're told to think that. Nobody's ever made up their mind and actually believed that. So I think somewhere down the line, Quentin Tarantino drugged about 8 influential people, and they've convinced you all that that's true. Actually watch that movie and make up your mind for yourselves, because it's trash.
Yeah, I will go watch that movie tonight because I am off work tomorrow, and I've never seen it, so I will see what happens here. So Rock says he does not like Stephen A. Smith, but he respects Tarantino. Okay. Well,
Hey.
Well, Wayne, that's going to be it for your segment tonight, man. As always, thank you for joining us. I need to brush up on my pulp culture here, just because I feel like every time you bring a pop culture thing, I'm like, I've never heard of that. Like the last time you were talking about like YMCA or something. I was like, well, what the heck's YMCA? Like the club or what? But no, I'm totally kidding. Wayne, tell people where they can find you and your podcast.
Absolutely. So the podcast is a member of the Belly Up Sports Network. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much anywhere that you listen to any other podcast, including this one. And you can find me on Twitter at SportsInfinity5. Let me know what you think and make a case for Tarantino, other than the fact that, somebody told you it was good. All
right, guys, that's going to be it for Wayne G. We're going to take a quick break here, guys. And on the other side of the break, we got week NFL game picks and why 4 exactly teams are going to win this week in our must-win situations. All that, much more, guys, coming up here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned a little bit. But is Winston still a top 10 quarterback in your eyes?
Yeah, he's still got the capability to be a top 10 quarterback. Is he a top 10 quarterback right now? I'd venture to almost say yes. I mean, you look at what this guy has done in the 5 games now that they've played, okay, and what he's done is only in 5 games throw for 12 touchdowns and only throw 3 interceptions. He's only thrown for 892 yards, though. That's where I've got room to pause, but I think that's a system thing. They haven't allowed him to open it up. But the 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, there's nothing wrong with it. He's making good reads. Now they're keeping him short. They're not letting him air it out. So that might be helping that along a little bit. And that might be the recipe to success. But they've got to allow him to be him. They've got to roll him out more. They've got to allow him to air it out a little bit. And I think he'll be fine.
Well, do you really want him to allow him to be him more per se? And then, well, like I use air quotes there, because the Saints are second in the South right now at a 3-2. They're obviously winning games.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeister here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the new forum page and, of course, the merchandise page as well. The BC merch has dropped over there, and we got a discount code over there on the website. So scroll down to the bottom screen of the merch page. There'll be a promo code that flashes up at you, and you save 20% on your first purchase over there at Man Hour. Also, guys, if you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can also head over to manhourradio.com and right after this live feed is over, roughly about 30 minutes or so, the podcast form will be up there at manhourradio.com. You can also find the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and of course, iHeartRadio as well. And coming soon, pending, hopefully next week, Amazon Music as well. But if you don't want to watch the full 2 hours or the 90 minutes or an hour, or however long the show is that night, be sure to subscribe to us at youtube.com/manhour. We upload the clips each and every day, every 3 hours, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The clips are uploaded at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m., 11 p.m., 2 a.m., and then again at 5 a.m. So every 3 hours, that's all East Coast time. So be sure to hit the bell icon as you get a little notification. Bada bing, bada boom. Buck did some editing, and there you go. You guys get a nice little 1 to 3 minute clip there. Basically of like what's been happening here on the Man Hour. So guys, we are going to open it up to Shop Talk here in about 15 minutes or so here on the Man Hour. But it is that time of night, it's that time of week, this Thursday, that we are going to basically quickly go through all Week 8 NFL games and pick the winners and losers of each game. So I do have 4 games that I want to break down, and that is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, the Tennessee Titans versus the Indianapolis Colts, New England Patriots versus Chargers, and then Bucks versus Saints. So I'll tell you how each team is going to win that game and ultimately who does win that game. But starting here up at the top, going down the list of games, we do have the Green Bay Packers at the Arizona Cardinals happening right here at the Man Hour. I do have the Green Bay Packers winning this game 17-10. The score is already 7-0 Arizona Cardinals, and they look mighty good in that all black. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big fan of the all black. First game up here on the docket on Sunday, you have the Carolina Panthers traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. I will have the Carolina Panthers winning that game. I think they get right again on this game. Sam Darnold finally comes back to week 1, 2, 3 and plays a little bit better. And the Falcons just aren't a very good team. They're coming around. Maybe next year they might be a 500 team. Ish, obviously there's no 500 no more in the NFL, but they will, look better. Second game up there, you have Miami traveling to Buffalo all day long. I don't think Miami even has a chance. Then you have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Chicago Bears. Many people were speculating this would be the Trey Lance versus Justin Fields game, but Jimmy G will get the start, and I think the San Francisco 49ers will beat the Chicago Bears at their home stadium. So the 49ers will get back on track, even though they're very, very injury prone. That takes us to the first game that I want to break down is the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. This is a game that normally would probably be the top of the division, right? Battling for that first and second seed here. But this was also going to be the loser of this game will be in sole position of last place in the AFC North, and then the winner will be the third place here. So this game doesn't have much implications as it normally does, but it still has very big implications. So who do I got winning this game? If Baker Mayfield plays this game, the Pittsburgh Steelers win. If Case Keenum plays or starts this game, the Cleveland Browns win. So I do think Baker Mayfield is going to start this game, He'll probably won't last the whole game, but he will start this game, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will win this game. They will get back to their roots. They will run the ball. Najee Harris will touch the ball at least 20 times on the ground and also be very effective in the short passing game. Ben Roethlisberger, if he throws it over 25 times in this game, I'll be very, very surprised. Najee Harris is going to get a healthy dose of the rushing the ball. And with that being said, Pittsburgh Steelers will win, let's say 26-20 is the final score. I am predicting a couple missed extra points because, kickers seem to miss a lot of kicks lately. So Baker Mayfield will start this week. Pittsburgh Steelers will win. If Case Keenum starts, Browns win. So am I waffling? Yes, but I am taking the Steelers in the end. Next game up, we do have the Eagles taking on the Detroit Lions. Well, that's a battle of some great games. I'm taking the Detroit Lions in this game. They are at home. They're bound to win one game, right, guys? I mean, hell, they can't lose them all. Or can they? They have done it before, but whatever. Next up here, the game that I want to talk about are the Tennessee Titans taking on the Indianapolis Colts. So Tennessee Titans, obviously flexed on the Buffalo Bills a couple weeks ago on Monday night. Then they beat down the Kansas City Chiefs. However, they did lose to the Colts earlier in the season. At the time, the Colts were not playing very good. As of late, Carson Wentz is looking a little bit better. They're trying to find their way. T.Y. Hilton is kind of looking like T.Y. Hilton that we once knew. The defense is stepping up. With that being said, though, the Tennessee Titans always play well in Indianapolis. For whatever reason, at Lucas Oil Stadium, they always bring their A game. Colts always play well at Nissan Stadium there in Nashville. And the Tennessee Titans play well at Colts Stadium for whatever reason. I don't know why. But we are going to get a healthy dose of the running games on both sides of the ball. This game could literally be done by 3:30. Now, it's 1 o'clock kickoff time, 2:30. 2:30, I mean. This could literally be a 90-minute game, guys. This could be there are going to be so many rushes happening in this game. I bet you guys each side of the ball has 250 yards rushing easily. The quarterbacks are going to kind of be non-existent, and if it's going to be a rushing game head-to-head, the Tennessee Titans will win this game, and that's exactly I do have winning this game. The Tennessee Titans will win this game. Derrick Henry will break 100 yards this game. He'll probably get $160 or so. Ryan Tannehill throws for 175, probably 2 touchdowns as well. So although, Wentz and the boys have been balling, for whatever reason, the Titans play well at Lucas Oil Stadium. Rock says, I think the Colts will pull off the upset against the Titans. Carson Wentz has been balling. Yeah, the Colts already beat the Titans once this year. So would it really be considered a upset? I don't think so. But, you can vote. I believe it's vote game 2 if you want to vote the Titans Colts game if you want to watch that game. Next game up the docket, you have the Bengals traveling to New York to take on the Jets. Bengals win this game. The Bengals are looking very, very good. Right now, the Jets just suck. Next game up, we have the LA Rams take on the Texans. They gave me the Rams all day long. The Houston are a sinking ship. They traded off Mark Ingram, and the team's pissed off. They're like, F this team. We don't care about you guys. Let's just go ahead and move on from this. Then we have the the New England Patriots take on the LA Chargers. As a Chiefs fan, I want the Patriots to win this game. I think the Patriots are playing well. The Chargers are coming back down to reality a little bit. They're not performing like they were in the earlier this season. However, it is a coast-to-coast game. But the Chargers don't really have a home stadium per se. So give me the Patriots in this game. They win by 6 points in this game. 24 to I don't know. Let's make it 18 to make it a good solid 6. Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Seattle and play Geno Smith. Give me Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks in this one. Washington football team taking on the Denver Broncos at Mile High Stadium. Give me the Washington football team. I just don't think the Broncos are very good. Teddy Bridgewater is definitely not the answer at the quarterback position. I think Drew Lock would have better success in this spot here. Tampa Bay taking on New Orleans at the Superdome. Give me the Bucks. No. Pause. Give me the Saints in this one. I think the Bucks are overlooking them. Because the Bucks are clicking on all cylinders. They are bound to not show up for one game, and I think this is the game they forget to show up. Give me the Saints. And then you have the Cowboys take on the Minnesota Vikings. Give me the Cowboys in this one, especially if Dak Prescott is healthy and playing this game. Infinity Sports, which is Wayne G, says Jacoby gets his first touchdown versus the Chargers. I like that. I like that a lot. But guys, that is going to be it for tonight's show. We are going to wrap it up. It has been a great week. I have flown solo all week. If you guys are interested in the World Series Game 3 reaction, it will be Friday with Suit Boss and Combs. I will be chiming in there for about half hour on Friday between innings 3 and 4. Hoffy, the baseball lackey himself, will be tuning in. Tori will be tuning in as well over there. So Game 3 reaction Friday here on Man Hour Nation at youtube.com/Man Hour. It'll also be live on manhourradio.com if you guys want to go to the website and give us some love there. Also, guys, they will be giving away some more merchandise during the Game 3 reaction as well. I believe Game 1, guys, they gave away like 5 or 6 pieces of memorabilia, I think. Rock won a signed Nolan Ryan autographed baseball. Drew won a Fink jersey and an autographed baseball bat. We gave a Beastie shirt away, and we gave a Man Hour tumbler away as well. So, guys, as always, thank you for joining us here. We will be back next week for the full 2-hour show, along with the after-hour show and behind-the-scenes footage. So if you are a member, be sure to check out the behind-the-scenes footage and the after-hours footage during the show, and of course, after the show as well. We also will be breaking some bigger news here if you are a member as well. So, guys, as always, thank you for joining us. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you guys Sunday. Actually, no. We'll see you tomorrow. World Series Game 3, Braves versus Astros at Atlanta. Battle for ATL, hashtag battle for ATL or for the H or whatever. Nonetheless, guys, have a good night. By the way, Rock, go Pack go. Where's my cheesehead? Go Pack go. Yeah. Go Pack go.